Hello witches, welcome back for another day of Vlogtober, and as you can see here we are working on planners part 2. As I mentioned yesterday, those were the Llewellyn planners. They have so many that it just made sense to have their own video, and then this is part 2 of some other options for you that do not come from Llewellyn. And again, these will all be linked below in case you want to check any of them out. So let's just go in the order that I've got them stacked here. First up, we have the Year of the Witch Planner by Temperance Alden. This goes along with her book by the same name. And she puts out planners each year. This is the pocket-sized one, and it is similar setup to the planners of years past, so you might have seen this on my channel before. But you get a little pocket here. And in the beginning, you just have some notes about how this planner works, or sort of how to, create your own wheel of the year. Get into some pages here of how to schedule your own personal things that come up. So even whether or not you are celebrating the traditional 8 Sabbats a year on the Wiccan Wheel of the Year, you can add those in here, and you can add in your own personal important dates. You have the Year at the Glance page, seasonal and cultural holidays, and then it does include this December before you get into 2025. At the start of each new month, you've got some informational pages. So for this one, we have eco-friendly Wheel of the Year. And then you get into the month overview, which does have the moon phases and some important holidays. And then you get into these boxes for each day. And then you get into the next month here. And for example, for Invoke, there is a self-love charm. So some of them are going to be spell work, some recipes, and some of them will just be informational pages, but there is a different one before each month. And just some blank notes pages at the back, space for contacts, and then at the end here you've got a habit tracker. And you have 12 of those, so you could track a different habit each month. And then you have 2026 at a glance, and another pocket at the back. And that's everything for this one. Next up is the Good Witches Perpetual Planner by Sean Robbins and Charity Bedell. And this has been out for a couple of years. They have these undated planners, and every few years they will put out a different version of it. So this one has been out for a couple of years. I have no idea when they're going to release the next one, but it is undated. It does have some introduction pages, basic info about the Sabbats and moon phases. And then once you get into the Perpetual Planner, it is just blank. It does start with January, but the dates aren't filled in, so you would fill those in yourself. And then throughout the month, you have these pages, but since it's undated, it does start with one here, and you would need to fill in the date. And I know that that might not work for some people. Since it does have the dates down here, if this doesn't line up with like a Monday, some people are not going to enjoy that. But if that doesn't bother you, then you are able to fill this out and use it as you see fit. And you do get extra information throughout these pages, recipes, spells, and general information. Like we've got fire cider here, spell for better health. And then you head into the next month and you have sort of the same setup. So this is another small option that would be great for carrying with you. And the back, there is a lot more information about herbs, candle colors, crystals, and a notes page before you get to the end. So again, with the way that it is set up, it can be used at any time and you would fill out the dates yourself. But since it's got the numbers in there, I don't know that it would be for everybody. For myself, I probably would not like that because when I flip to a new page, I would think it would be like Sunday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday. And if that week, you know, those dates started on like a Wednesday and it ran from Wednesday to Tuesday, that page would probably bother me. So if you're like me, that might not be the one for you. Next up, we have the 2025 Witch's Diary that is purple and black, and it's got this silver foiling. It is a bit of a cardstock, thicker cover. You've got some intro pages from the authors, moon phase information, Sabbath information, planets, planting, days of the week, colors. At the beginning of each month, you have this page of the overview of the energy of the month, the moon magic. It has a little ritual as well, and then you get into these smaller boxes for the actual days. So as you can see, not a ton of writing space unless you write super small, but would still be a good space for tracking notes. If you just wanted to write down sort of where you're working on any of your spell work, if you started a spell on a certain day, just want to keep track of that, that could be a good space for it. This one does have a lot of witchy tips and spells throughout. Before you get into the next month and repeat the same sort of process. So for myself, it would be a great spot for, like I said, tracking my spells, but not a ton of space to write. So I probably would not use it as my everyday planner where I'm keeping track of like to-do lists and things that are coming up. It would, for me, just be more of a spell tracking, like witchcraft practice tracking space. We have the Practical Witches 2025 Almanac, Rebel Wisdom. This is, again, a soft cover, a little bit thicker. This one, you have the table of contents here. And as you'll see in this one, you have a ton of articles. You do get the timing of your new moons, your full moons, the Sabbats. And then we get into lunar planner. So if you are a moon magic type of witch, you will really like these pages because it is just every single day and what the moon phase is and what time it switches over. And you have all of those months up front. So you've got all 12 here. So if you like to plan things out by moon phases, that's how you structure your magic, this would be perfect for you. And then you get into the planner part, and these are pretty big boxes here. And it does have the information here as well about what's going on with the planets, astrology things that are happening. And here is where the year ends. And as you can see, there's quite a few pages at the end here, which is where you get into all of the articles. So a ton of stuff to read about back here. So if you liked that in some of the Llewellyn options that are less planner and more learning about different topics, you might enjoy this as well. It's got recipes, of correspondence guides. So a great option for being able to learn and having those articles, but also having a lot of space to write. And again, this is ideal for those of you that are very much into the moon phases and structuring your practice around the lunar cycles. You're going to find this one very helpful. Getting into the ones that are a little bit bigger, this is the 2025 Lunar and Seasonal Diary for the Northern Hemisphere by Stacy DeMarco. I like Stacy's work. Stacy made the Halloween Oracle deck, so going to be seeing that a lot this month. And these are just protection covers, the front and back, a spiral bound option. You've got the 2025 overview here. Some beginner information, moon cycle, and spell timing information. Wheel of the Year. Here we've got goal setting pages, which is something that we haven't seen yet in a witchy themed planner. So you have the page for getting clear about 2025 and then your intentions for the year, and you have a space for each month if you'd like to set a different intention and different steps that you're going to take each month. You have spells and rituals as well. And then you have these notes pages at the beginning asking you questions that will help you plan both your life and your witchcraft practice for the month ahead. We have got goddess information and spells, and then you head into the week overview. And you've got pretty big boxes here for writing everything. It does tell you what phase the moon is in, and you will get additional little spells on certain days. And we repeat the same pattern with the next month with the journaling prompts, the goddess, the ritual, the information if there's a Sabbath, and then back into the week at a glance. You get a couple of notes pages at the end and additional resources to check out. And it does have a bookmark as well. So as you can see, this is obviously a larger option. If you do prefer the spiral bound or just need more space to write, then I think that you would find this one to be most helpful. And I know that Stacy is in Australia, so I assume someplace out there, if you are also in the Southern Hemisphere, there's going to be a Southern Hemisphere version for you. But obviously, I went with Northern. Down to the last two. So this is obviously a very large one, a full workbook, regular, 8.5 by 11 size paper, the Witchcraft Essentials Witch Planner and Workbook. And this actually started in July, so you can hop in and start using that right now, and runs all the way until the end of next year. This is very much workbook grimoire style. So you have a ton of information up front. Moon phase calendar, days of the week, crystals, herbs. You have some spells as well. I've got jar spells here. Notes page, and then we get into what the months look like. So we have the month at a glance here. And then you have the information for the upcoming week. So any sort of key dates that are coming up. For the week pages, you have the week number of the year here, and then you have this space to record spells. So you have your intention, the name and date of the spell, the purpose, the ingredients, process, and then the spell results and the date of the results. And then each day, Monday through Sunday, you have space to check off daily meditation, daily divination, daily energy work practice, and daily prayer or affirmation, and then a couple of lines there to write. So overall, it's not a ton of space to write on each day, but it does have that great like checklist options. So if you are somebody that feels better about like checking in daily, or maybe you struggle with that and know that your practice would benefit from more regular check-ins and remembering to do certain things daily, like meditation and daily divination, this is such a nice place to be able to check that off. And again, you have these key dates and times that are coming up. This was for the month of August. And then you've got more spells and rituals that you could try out. Here's what it looks like for January 2025. This is a spell for making a witch's ladder for home protection. So definitely a very pretty option, some nice like artwork on the edge there. A little too big to probably carry around, but if you would just like a little workbook space to check in each day and have that reminder of doing those daily intentions and things, this would be an excellent option for tracking that. And lastly, we have the Soul Care Planner for 2025. These are some stickers that came with it, and here is a little note from the author, Sarah McCormick. And this is a hefty, like heavy duty, this is hardcover here with this beautiful gold foiling on it. And if you are a patron, you can win this. This is today's giveaway option. So if you are over on Patreon, the information will be in the description. You have the how to use this planner information, astrology guides, seasons and soul care, elements, moon signs, year overview, and then you have space for your soul goals, your word of the year, and that is sort of the theme running through this planner is soul care, self-care. That is like the whole idea behind Sarah's work. You've got a tarot spread here with space to write, and then it is set up heading, into winter. And then it's got this whole spread here of ideas for winter. So things to take care of yourself. And then I love this of using your senses to inspire your practice during each season. You've got a card spread for January. You have your January overview, and then a lot of space for setting your goals and breaking them down by week. You have the month overview here. Again, it does have like the moon phases on each day and like Mercury entering Aquarius, any sort of important astrological things happening. And then you have the Monday to Sunday week overview. Got the pages here to write, but you also have the small space over here to note something important. You have space here for today I feel and the card of the day. So if you are a tarot or oracle card puller each day, there's a space to note that. And then you have a check-in box with a different question each week to do some further reflection. You also get some pages in here, more soul care ideas, a place to set your new moon intentions. And then you have the same space here. This one is for tracking at the full moon. And then you've got the last quarter moon here, so you would just be able to continually track that throughout the month. And these soul care ideas are different every single week. And at the end, you have all this journaling space for monthly reflections. And then you get into your card spread for the next month. And again, the overview, the space for goals, space to break it down weekly, the month overview, the week, the lunar intentions page. So that is how it repeats throughout. So it is a ton of journaling space. So 2025 is going to be your year for self-care, for shadow work, goal setting, lunar intentions, this is going to be an excellent option for you. It's got tons of space to write. And again, it is a heavier option, so I don't think this would be something that you carry with you, but a great place for journaling practice and to just keep out on your desk, because it's going to give you tons of space for the journaling and then also for tracking your witchcraft practice. So like I said, if you are on Patreon, do head below to find out how to win that. And those are all of the planners that I had to share with you for this one. If there are any others that you would like to see an overview of or think that I should review and show on the channel, let me know in the comments. And coming up, I don't know if I will be doing it during Vlogtober, or if that will be, in December sometime during Vlogmas to show you what I'm going to be working with specifically for 2025. This was just to show you sort of all the options that are out there. There are so many more, of course, but these are the ones that caught my eye that I thought people would find helpful. So do let me know how you are planning to track in 2025, if any of these have caught your eye. And don't forget to enter yesterday's giveaway if you are here on YouTube, and today's if you are over on Patreon. That is everything for this day for Vlogtober. I will see you all tomorrow.